Good afternoon. The West Midlands Police Commissioner, Bob Jones, is writing to the Prime Minister to call for a public inquiry into the death of 3 young men during the Birmingham riots in 2011. Haroon Jahan and brothers Shazad Ali and Abdul Muzavir were killed by a car as they tried to protect shops and businesses in Winson Green. A year afterwards, 8 men were found not guilty of murder after a judge raised concerns about witnesses being offered anonymity. Last month, the Independent Police Complaints Commission published a critical report into the investigation. This morning, Bob Jones put a number of key questions to the Chief Constable in a meeting at Dudley. Well, our reporter Amy Cole was there. So, Amy, what did Mr Jones have to say?
Well, the Police Commissioner had 3 points that he wanted to put to his Chief Constable, Chris Sims, about the force's handling of the case. The first centred on charges. All 8 defendants who faced trial were charged with murder. He asked why the police and the CPS had chosen that rather than a lesser charge of manslaughter. Chief Constable said that when the force presses charges, it needs to be clear. It can't simply offer a defendant a range of options. Bob Jones then went on to say that he felt the case had been led by a very inexperienced senior investigating officer. This, of course, was denied by the force, but they said that just because the force was under a lot of pressure back in that August, it hadn't simply run out of senior investigating officers. They felt they'd chosen the right man for the job, although they did concede that they were improving training. Now, Bob Jones also added that he was very disappointed that the CPS and the courts whom he's written to have not responded, and he said that he's now written to the Home Secretary and the Prime Minister to call for a public inquiry.
This morning's meeting has been to seek to get answers from the police, and we have had some of those answers, but there's a whole areas where we haven't managed to get an answer, because it's the decisions are those made by the CPS, by the court service, by the judge in charge, by a whole series of other parts of the criminal justice system. I don't have the powers to demand answers from those partners. Only a public inquiry could do so.
OK, so Amy, Mr Jones wants answers. What do we expect to happen now?
Well, he did tell me that if a public inquiry does go ahead, he will discuss the findings with West Midlands Police. He said of the families affected that he wants to get them the answers they need and deserve.
OK, Amy, thank you very much. Now, at a time